All right. Hi, my name is Chase, and this is my senior project proposal for the Feminist magazine. I am a graphic communication student with a concentration in DRT and a minor in political science, so I really wanted to combine those two ideas and form one project. My problem statement, after looking over a couple different political issues, I decided to focus on feminism. I think that feminism is often negatively misconstrued, and I think that much of the controversy surrounding feminism stems from misconceptions. And although feminism may mean something different to everyone, the advocacy of women's rights should not be overlooked. So ultimately, this magazine is going to be a collection of articles and imagery that clarify some of those misconceptions, define feminism, and highlight women and other supporters of the movement. I think that this is a really great opportunity. That's why I'm excited. I think that this magazine is going to educate and inspire future feminists. At least that's the goal. So I started with some background research. I was researching misconceptions. I was researching the definition of feminism. It's very loose. I was also researching design concepts, feminist concepts, everything like that. And I narrowed my research down to two sources and identified the following strengths. I found that there are a lot of powerful women throughout history, and a lot of the articles that I was finding were detailing how women challenged social norms and paved the way for future generations. So upon hearing some of these stories, I decided to dedicate part of my magazine to highlighting those female voices and telling their stories. I also learned that design is critical to the readability and success of a magazine. And so I wanted to promote those feminist values in a way that acknowledges certain groups and gives certain groups representation and visibility. And to do that, I needed to make sure that I was using inclusive language, promoting body positivity, and again, some of that diverse representation. I also identified some weaknesses in my research. I think that the initial scope of my magazine was very female focused, but after doing some more research, I realized that this movement is not just about people that are born and identifying as female. The movement is very intersectional, so I needed to make sure that I was highlighting those voices as well. And so I redirected some of my focus towards that. I also learned about feminist design trends and realized that some of my initial ideas were lacking neutrality. I didn't want to use a pink-centric color palette anymore. I didn't want to just use female-focused imagery because that does not reflect the movement accurately. So I wanted to transition to a more inclusive color palette, transition to more inclusive imagery, like find males or people that don't identify as either to represent this movement and be in this magazine. I then went into my project planning stage. There are 4 areas of planning for this project: background research, asset collection, magazine design, and magazine production. And you can see some of those details underneath. But as far as the magazine production side goes, I want to make sure that everything's finalized, pre-flighted, ready to go when I export. And then Steve Stafford in the department is going to advise me in the production and binding of these copies. I then made a project planning chart. It's a little bit blurry on here, but the orange is dedicated to background research, the pink is dedicated to assets, the green is dedicated to design, and the blue is dedicated to output. So right now I'm transitioning from that research phase into that asset collection phase. And then around week 6 and 7, I'm going to transition into the magazine design phase. And then at week 8, I would like to get into the production phase. And I wanted to aim to finish this project a little bit early just in case any unforeseen circumstances came up and I needed to postpone my printing or give myself extra design time. The project deliverable will obviously be a perfect bound magazine, but there are also a couple tangible and digital items that will be produced throughout the quarter, which are the written assets, the graphic assets, and then again, the final magazine. This project is hopefully going to be successful. I think that a lot of that success is going to come from the professionalism of my magazine and my assets. But I also want to make sure that the production side of this is error-free, and that is why I'm asking Steve to come in and help ensure that the printing and the binding are done without error. Thank you.